Secrets of Happy People, Episode 31, Dreamers of Happiness. It was the day before Christmas, the day of the big march between the two rival villages, Akapti and Obiozimina. They were soccer rivals who engaged each other during the end-of-year holidays, when schools were on vacation and the teenage boys and young men were in need of pastimes. Football, or soccer as it's known in some countries, was their favorite. The football pitch was literally walled in by a vociferous crowd of supporters made up of people from both villages, young and old, male and female. The village pride was at stake. Everybody, including the heads of the villages, who in those days were the oldest men alive, were aware of the contest. These were sometimes octogenarians and beyond. But even these ancient ones of both villages knew that the big march was on that day. Of course, these elderly had little knowledge of soccer, not being a popular game in their time, but they still could relate with the passion when likened to wrestling contests, the popular one of their time. In fact, the oldest man in the Akapta village poured libation in prayer for the safety and success of the local team. With the benefit of hindsight, one can say that a part of his prayer was answered. The Akapta team returned home safe from the away match, but not victorious. They lost the hotly contested game 2-1. It was a sad Christmas for especially the teenage players. Adibro, the captain and scorer of the team's only goal that day, took the loss especially badly. He had red eyes of tears throughout Christmas. He took the loss personally, thinking that he had let the entire village down, having led them to a defeat instead of the expected victory. His sadness drew the attention of his auntie, who dearly loved him. She called him in and tried to counsel him, to cheer him up, to look up to the return match, which was to take place on New Year's Day. Auntie Nkem was a born optimist and a happy person who personified the buoyant spirit. She advised Adibro to forget the past and focus on the future. She urged him to deploy his fertile imagination to conceive of a victory on the 1st of January. She urged him to imagine his team's victory as a New Year present to the whole village. She urged him to imagine that the entire Akapta was agog with celebration at the end of that match because they won. Like magic, her talk lifted the lad, who actually had a great brain and fantastic imagination, part of the natural equipment he deployed in school to become one of the best and finest scholars that the village had ever produced. Adibro gave her aunt a bear hug in utter gratitude, lightened up, and started singing like his old happy self. The D-Day came, 1st of January, and events played out as he had dutifully imagined. Or even better, he thought, because the Obiozimina team was trumped and trounced and drowned in a 4-0 victory. The entire village partied till dawn. As they danced under the moonlight in the now rowdy and crowded village square to the beats of the pulsating drums and sonorous voices of Otigba and his other village band boys, Adibro kept imagining himself continuously thanking his auntie Nkem, who had lifted his spirits and taught him an invaluable habit of happy people, the evidence of which he was manifestly enjoying that night.